We're shaking, folks. Back with another reaction, back with some more Laura Branigan. And once again, major shout out to Scott, massive friend of the channel, who has not only shared some Laura Branigan with me, but also some other materials that we haven't started going through yet. So I appreciate the patience, and I will go through everything eventually. But we're going back to Self-Control, 1984. Once again, this is the deluxe edition, and we'll go through at least some of the tracks on the second disc. But the next tune on the proper album is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? I mentioned this at the end of the last reaction to Heart. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a cover of the Carole song, which I think is actually written by, what's her name? It's Carole King and her husband, whose name I don't remember, but I think they made and wrote a lot of music together. I think that's actually their song, and the Caroles were the one to record it. So if I'm wrong and it's an original, then obviously I'll try to pick up on the sentiment. But either way, like, you know, whether it's a cover of that older song or just independent convergence on the same phrase, one would think that the sentiment is likely the same. The idea that you're getting involved with someone, you're feeling like this could be a special connection. Maybe tonight you're actually gonna, you know, make something of that connection, have a physical intimacy. But then what happens tomorrow? Like, is it for the other person the same way you're feeling about it, where you can see your future unfolding with them? Or is this something where maybe they're interested, but more for the physical connection, and the moment that's done, perhaps they're moving on to someone else. Perhaps they're a wanderer like Dion. So, yeah, I wonder whether this will play the feeling the same, because the feeling in the Carole's track is like this, you know, she's really enthusiastic, but there's this, but what about tomorrow? Like, what happens then? You know, am I feeling this in a way that you're not actually on that same level? So let's hear what Laura does with it. And again, I suppose this could be a different track entirely, but here we go. Laura Branigan, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow from Self-Control. Jazz club
tonight, you're mine.
Okay.
Completely. You gave your love so sweetly. Tonight, the light of love is in your eyes.
Plays that line a little different than the original.
But will you love me tomorrow? Is this a lasting treasure, or just a moment's pleasure? Can I believe magic of your side? Will you still love me tomorrow?
It feels sadder than the original. It feels like maybe
Tonight with words unspoken, you say that I'm the only one. When the night meets the morning sun, I'd like to know that your love is a love I can be sure of. So tell me now, I won't ask again. Will you still love me tomorrow?
I love that.
Tell me now, and I won't ask again.
That line.
Will you still love me? Will you still
up-tempo jazz rendering. Obviously very different from the original, which has a lightness to it, has an energy to it, and again, I think that makes it feel more hopeful. Whereas this one, it's not that it feels pessimistic, but it feels like the emotions are heavy already, as if she's anticipating that maybe they won't be there tomorrow. That, you know, once this connection is had, he'll be off somewhere else. So it's funny how, you know, singing it differently, rendering it differently in the sonics, it sort of changed the mood, at least for me. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoy the way the vocals, you know, in a different voice, you know, the lyrics have a bit different of a sound. And yeah, ultimately that leads me to think about that line that, you know, tell me now and I won't ask again. The idea that, like, she knows she's maybe being self-conscious, she's maybe sounding needy, like it might come across like as unseemly, like she's trying to, you know, get a commitment out of him. But she needs that reassurance, and it feels like so incredibly human. And, you know, if you've ever been in that sort of situation where you start to see someone, it's going well, you're feeling it, and then it's, you know, like where's the connection? Like, is it, you know, is she feeling it the same way I am, or am I like being a little too eager here, and do I have to just, you know, keep it steady and, you know, just bide my time, so to speak, which I don't know, that makes it sound menacing. But no, like, it just feels like there's this self-awareness that one might come across as a bit too concerned about getting a commitment, or, you know, again, a bit clingy or needy, but she just feels like she has to know, like, you know, before we go through this and before I commit this and before I feel like, you know, everything that I want is going to come true, are we, you know, are we seeing eye to eye on this tomorrow? Are you going to feel the same way? Or, you know, once I give you what you want, are you gone? So it feels like, again, a bit more cynical or like pessimistic in the sad rendering here. It feels like maybe she's not convinced, but either way, I just that line hit me like differently than it did in the original. So yeah, I enjoy it. I wonder, you know, I feel like a number of people who are fond of classic tunes like that, you know, they don't tend to be overly fond of attempts at interpreting it. And I remember learning this when discovering that the Tiffany song that I heard as a kid, the I Think We're Alone Now, was actually a, oh, what is their name? It's another, like, it's someone James and the Shondells or something like that. I'm forgetting in the moment, but I remember, like, when I went to YouTube and to hear, you know, the different versions, and there were like a lot of negative comments from people who were fond of the original and like, why did Tiffany even do this? So I wonder if this is the same. I wonder if it's like, you know, should have left well enough alone or whatever. But I like it. You know, I grew up hearing a lot of Motown tunes. Like, not only did my parents occasionally listen to them, but a friend of the family who was often over, and, you know, sometimes we'd go places with them, and, you know, I'd be in the car and she would listen to a lot of Motown in particular. And I very clearly remember hearing the Shirelles version of this. Is it Tommy James and the Shondells? It's going to bother me if I don't figure it out. I think that's right. But yeah, I remember hearing the original of this song and thinking, like, you know, wow, it sounds really cool. And then you get a little older, you start going through some relationships, and like, oh man, like, I know what that's like. It's like, are we on the same page, or am I feeling this too strongly? So yeah, classic tune. I enjoy Laura's take. Let me know what you think about it. I won't waste any more of your time. Sometimes I do get a bit verbose and loquacious. I do apologize, but yeah, let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.